Thank you. Five, four, three. I'm gonna fall asleep now. Oh, good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'll tell you what, it's 4 o'clock here in the afternoon here in the UK. I hope everybody is doing well. And it's been sunny today here where I live. It's about time. I think all the hot weather's going to come in, guys, and it's time to go on the beach or wherever you want to go. Um, Go surfing or whatever you want to do. Right, okay. I've got Katrina with me today. Hello, Katrina. How are you?
Hi, Steve. I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I am brilliant, thank you. It's nice to have you back, and tell everybody a bit about yourself.
Okay, well, it's nice to be back, first of all. And so I'm Katrina. I am a love advocate. And what I do is I help people try to wade through all the BS and the toxicity, clear it away, and get back to being in the relationship that they wanted to have at the beginning, to have it, healthy, fulfilling, and actually be loving.
How can we get a loving relationship when everything is going on in our lives? When it's like family problems and the kids are running around acting, mad as hell, and we've got all this COVID still hanging on. How can we be loving?
It's not easy. It's not easy. I think the key is remember, it's not about how much time we spend with our partner. It's about how the quality of the time. And remember that giving our partner that love and attention is not another thing on our list of things to do. It should actually be our priority.
Ah, right, okay. So how can we kind of like make it more? How can we spice it up a bit then?
Well, it depends what you mean by spicing it up a bit. So if you mean in the saucy sense, it can be with summer holidays and the kids are off and it's all gone crazy. It can feel like an impossible task. Um, I think really just really trying to carve out some date time, just the two of you, having some separation in the time that you spend with the children and the time that you spend with each other is imperative. So even if you lock them in the cellar, no, I'm joking. Don't lock your children in the cellar. You need to have
Oh,
some section of time. So if you can, if they're younger children, put them to bed. You don't have to have a babysitter and go out. You can put some fairy lights up in the garden and have a picnic in the garden, for example, or anything like that. During quarantine when we were locked down, we weren't allowed to even go outside where I live. We pretended we were at the beach. So we got some cold beer, we put out our sunbeds and opened the windows so that the sun would come in. On one phone we had the music, and one phone we had the beach sounds, and we pretended that we were at the beach, but actually we were just locked in the bedroom. So you have to use a little bit of imagination and make it a priority. Where there's a will, there's a way.
I used to like a few years back now. I used to like walking on the beach, hand in hand, like being a romantic, sort of guy where the moon's coming down and things like that. And I remember when I was younger than that, I met this girl once, and she said, "What are we gonna do for our date?" I said, "Ah." So I took her. Well, I used to live in Plymouth, and it's called Plymouth Bow, and we used to watch the stars.
That's really nice.
You know what I mean?
Really nice.
And we can all kind of like um, do things. Through the COVID, it was so difficult because you couldn't hardly go anywhere, so you're stuck in, and also you're stuck in, under people's feet, or if you've got children and everything, that's tough. But what kind of clients come to you and say, "Hey, Katrina, I need a little bit of help"?
Do you know what? It can be anyone. It's not like a particular pattern because every single person, every single relationship goes through a phase where things have gotten a bit stale, they've gotten stuck in a rut, and they don't know how to get back to where they were before. And I think the trick is not to go back, but to look forward and to just reprioritize what's important. How do you want to show your partner that they're important to you? And go back to making each other a priority and finding that time. So it can be like, you know, a lot of people, got to a certain age, around my kind of age, 40 something, the kids are running around, and your partner, your relationships become another thing on your list of things to do, or you feel that you're not on the list of things, like you're running around prioritizing everyone and everything. I feel like yourself and your relationship has fallen by the wayside and it's not important anymore, and it can kind of snowball. So I'd say if I had to say one particular category, I'd probably say mums of 40 something.
Right. Okay. How do we find our How do we find our right partner then? Our right person for us?
Well, the answer is
Right.
actually a lot simpler than you think. It's not about finding the right partner. It's about being your best self. When you know who you are and what your best attributes are, you play to them, and so then it's much easier to attract the right person to you.
No, no, no. I think it's hard. I think it's hard when you go out. I'm a sort of a person like um I'm really kind of like I'm a sort of person like if I go into a pub or a club when I was younger, and if it was a girl by the bar or something, I say, don't bother, I'll buy it, and things like that. So, or I used to get a bunch of roses, and I used to give them out. But the trouble is, though, the trouble is, how do we know the right partner? Because you can say it's easy, but they've got to have a fit. They've got to really fit in with us, haven't they?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's all about trial and error, but unless you really know who you are and what your values are, how do you know if they're the right fit? We
Like,
spend far
okay.
too much focusing on other people and what they're bringing, but we don't know what we want. So if we're
Mm.
really able to, figure that out, then the rest is really easy. Well, not really easy. It's really simple, I should say, because if what's really really important to me is someone who is family oriented, somebody who is sporty, and somebody who is sincere, well, that
Mm.
automatically eliminate a huge percentage of the population. So those people I'm not even going to waste my time with.
Yeah, but some women though they go for these big men, not big men, but muscle men, and they go for these. It's true. They go for these muscle men, good
Hmm.
looking, men and all that lot. And some, what? I missed out. I really missed out on somebody about years ago now. Um, I went on a dating agency, right?
Hmm.
And I had a problem because I thought, nah, no one will. Um, I won't find anybody. And this nice person came in into the theatre because we was going to watch the show. Had my date, and I and I thought, right. I watched her come in. So as she came in, she sat down and she was waiting for me. She phoned me up. She said, "Are you going to be long, Steve?" I said, "No, no, I not won't be." And anyway, so I went right past her, right, right past her. I phoned her up and I said, "Sorry, I couldn't meet you." And she said, "Why?" She said, "Well, I noticed you." She said, but you just carried on, and I actually kind of like liked you, and I can't believe it. You know what I mean? And she said, but because you never turned up and let me down and everything, it doesn't look very good. And I lost her in the end. And it's confidence in it, really.
Yeah. So you see my point. So with her attitude to you, where she said, "Well, I'm really sorry, but you've given me the impression that I can't rely on you. It doesn't look good." She had her values and her expectations really clear, and
Yeah,
what happened with you, the whys and wherefores aside, because obviously it's something you can understand if you want to, that you know some people would have given you a second chance. She had her things so clear that that was like that's a deal breaker for her, and so for her you're not the person for her because you didn't fall into the remit that she had mapped out.
yeah. Well, I still regret that for the from today, but there you go. I'm all right now, so I'm happy. But the trouble is, so you know, how can we get an happy, have an happy relationship? Because some of us we just go by, we're in a relationship, and it's like, right, okay. Some people get bored in their relationship, or some people think, oh well, is it worth going on? Because I wanted to carry on because it's the kids and everything. You know, how can we make it an happy relation? How can we be in a happy relationship?
Okay, first and foremost, there's no such thing as a 100% happy relationship. Every single relationship has its moments. But the way to have a healthy relationship that is, as happy as can be is, but there's so obviously more than what, it's not like a quick answer. But, there's some key elements that, one, it's not your partner's responsibility to make you happy, it's yours. So if you're putting that responsibility on your partner, it's going to
You
create
sure?
problems in the
You
relationship.
sure?
Absolutely,
You
100%.
sure?
Sorry.
You sure that it's us, and it's not the partner's got to make me happy.
Nope,
You sure about that?
1,000%.
Oh, I'm not going to argue with a woman. No.
Hey, I'm open to other people's opinions.
Katrina, I am not. No, I'm not going there. I am.
My opinion is no. No, it's an
No.
inside job. Happiness is a personal mission. And you
Right.
find the happy that you are on your own, the better the version of yourself that you're bringing to the relationship. You're going to be a lot more fun to be around. You're going to get the most out of each and every experience with your partner. Why? Because you've already came to the table happy. Your partner's supposed to complement you, not substitute you. You can't
Right.
give them all that responsibility.
Right. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I can see where you're coming from now. But the trouble, but the trouble is, so I find it with um, like us men, we try to please much. There's two kinds of man. Sorry about this. I hope I don't offend you in any way. So there's like a man who wants to kind of like meet somebody, one night stand, flips him over, bye, gone, right?
Hmm.
Then you got somebody out there genuine who is kind of like wants to meet somebody, wants to fall in love, and have everything, right? So do you think that the person who's gone out there just a one night stand is spoiling it for everybody else?
No, not at all. I think the people that spoil it for everybody else are the people that don't play clean. So if you go about, so you want to go and have multiple partners and live the high life or whatever you want to call it, the single life, but you've got a partner at home, then you're going to have a deep impact on that partner when they find out, because usually they do sooner or later. That person is then ruined for the next or the next because the scars run deep. So in that
Yeah.
sense, yes. But in the sense that that they're going out and everybody, not everybody is looking for the same thing. Some people don't want relationships. Some people just want to play the field. And I think as long as people have got their cards on the table and they're doing no harm to other people, then why not? Each to their own. Live it up. Have a good time.
So
Stay safe.
you will actually go for that then. You will actually say to people, go out and play the field.
If that's what they want, yeah. Where I would say to people, like, you have a real look in the mirror and have a think about what you're doing, is when there's other people involved. So, that person that is in a relationship already but wants to play the field. I think you have to choose between one lifestyle and the other.
Gosh, right. Play the field, go.
Not if you're
Wow.
married, of course. If you're married, no, you're married. If you're married, you're married. But if you don't want to be married and you're single,
I'll tell you what, if I went out now and played the field, my wife will kind of like chop something off.
that's what I mean. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
cards on the table kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, it would be, yeah, yeah. Um, it's tougher, isn't it? It's really tough, isn't it? Like, life and relationships and everything. You know, it's like yourself. I don't know if you're married or are you married?
Ish.
You're married-ish,
Oh,
okay.
I'm hippie married.
Uh, mhm. yeah. So if you're married-ish, so put put this way, you're in this relationship, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, your partner or something kind of like thinking, well, I'm fed up now, and he goes off and does something and goes off with another person. What would you do?
Wish him the best.
Sorry?
I wish him all the best for his future. Collects my
You
things.
you will actually tell him. You will actually like kick him and say, bugger off or something.
Yeah, because I've got my values really clear. I know exactly what I want in a partner, and if I can't trust my partner, and if they've been unfaithful to me, then obviously I can't. Then I have no future with that.
Right. Okay. Right. So really, then, if it's a woman then who does it and a man does it, the woman really, and what I'm trying to do is swap roles here,
Hmm.
right? So if the woman does it, then it's like, wow, it was just a fling. It's.
See, I don't agree with that. See, I think that everybody should play by the same rules. If you're in a relationship and it's a monogamous relationship, then you both should be monogamous. If the values of the relationship are honesty, integrity, being faithful, and you've broken those rules, whether you're the man or the woman, then the consequences should really be the same. I mean, obviously, it's up to every couple to decide if they can get through that situation, if they want to get through that situation. But
Yeah.
in my case, I know that if I was unfaithful, I know that my partner would see you later then, and I'm the same. I would say the same because we're very clear on we're playing from by the same rule book, and I think
Yeah.
a relationship should be fair. It's not one rule for one and one rule for the other. That dynamic doesn't work generally.
Yeah. But some do, or some do that, though, don't they?
Some do that, yeah. And, like I say, there are some relationships where people conduct open relationships and they're very fine with that. They've got rules within that open relationship, and as long as they play between those parameters, everybody's happy. It's all about communication and managing each other's expectations.
That's my next question I was going to ask you about open relationships. Do you kind of like agree with that open relationship?
Um, I don't agree or disagree with it. It's not for me. I'm quite jealous. I'm quite a jealous partner, so I wouldn't be able to cope with that dynamic in my relationship. It's not for me. I don't want
No,
that.
no, 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 no.
So, but to say it's not for me, it's not for me to judge whether it's for other people or not. I know
Yeah,
I do know people that have that kind of relationship and they're very happy. There are rules within those kind of within that relationship, and they
yeah.
respect each other and those rules. That's how they're not. That's what makes
I
their
want,
relationship work.
yeah, I want to do that. I want kind of like have an open relationship because, I believe if you got a partner, you're with your partner. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Yeah,
I'm a fan of monogamy. For me, it's one is enough, and I don't like to share.
right. Okay. I wasn't saying about sharing, but but thank you for making me laugh. Um, but the trouble is with any sort of relationship, right? It's difficult, isn't it? It's difficult because one minute your partner wants something, next minute the other partner doesn't want the same. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Kind of. I think communication is key. We change as people. Our needs can change, our expectations can change, but we have to communicate with our partner at any given time. There are periods of life where we need a bit more from our partner, we need a bit less, we need something different. Whatever the life circumstance that we're facing at that time. So, communication is super, super important. If
Yeah,
they
yeah,
know what you want and what you need, they can't give it to you. If you don't tell them, they're not mind readers.
yeah.
So,
I've got some questions here for you.
okay,
All right, I asked for questions from everybody,
okay.
and here we go. Katrina, I've been in a 10-year relationship at the moment. I'm sure my husband is keeps annoying me and telling me that I am boring. Sex is kind of the gender at this moment in time. I tried to I, tr- I tried to touch him, but he doesn't want to know. Is he having an affair?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. This is a tricky situation because when we feel rejected in a sexual sense, it can be really easy to jump to conclusions. But when we're in our then, accusing our partner, or not necessarily going, oh, I think you're having an affair, but this undertone of insecurity and suspicion because of this, or this, it actually exacerbates the problem. Men, and I'm assuming we're talking about a male female relationship, so men, if they've got a lot on their mind, it can affect that they're not interested in the bedroom because there's so much on their mind. If their
All
mind
right.
is not clear, then downstairs they can't operate. So, it's as hard as it is, it takes a lot of understanding, clear communication, and to remove the expectation. When there's all that pressure, it makes it so much worse. So what I would suggest for that reader would be to, or that listener would be to take the attention away from the bedroom. As hard as that is, find some way to channel the energy into some sport, to have some personal time, for example, and take the pressure off and try to be there for your husband. If at this given time there's something that going on with him, he needs you. It don't make it about your own self and say, but you're not, you've got problems, but you're making that a problem for me. That's not being loving. And if you want your partner to love you physically, emotionally, you need to be able to be there for them first.
Yeah, yeah. And the trouble is also Lisa Linda, sorry, um, from Rochdale. Hi, Steve. Um, I've got a problem. Um, it's not actually a man problem. It's a woman problem. Me and my partner's been together for a while now. She feels that there's not much love between us, and I want to go, but she doesn't want to let me go. Sometimes she locks the door and closes all the windows and everything, and don't let me out. Is it time to ring the police and make it a bit more troublesome? Mm,
Okay. When we're in a relationship, we have to be free. It has to be a choice whether we're in that relationship or not. And if you don't want to be there, or one of you doesn't want to be there, you should, as hard as it is for the other person, they have to accept it. You can have a conversation and say, no, I don't want things to finish. I don't feel like they're done or whatever. But at the end of the day, the partner that doesn't want to stay should not be forced to under lock and key.
yeah,
So that's potentially a very dangerous situation because it can easily escalate. So my suggestion would be to seek some professional intervention, and I would say that's probably not the place that you want to spend the rest of your life.
no, no. I would get out quick when you can. Um, I'm only trying to be honest.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, yeah,
It's trying to be diplomatic.
well, yeah. Um, yeah, okay. Let's forget about that one before I go on about that one. Um, Robert, hi, Steve. I'm the sort of person who's jealous. Well, mate, I put it this way. I put my hands up. I am a jealous sort of guy. I really am. Every time when my partner goes out, I'm wondering where she is, where she goes, whatever. I even put a track on a phone. Well, you don't need to go that far, mate, but um, see Katrina's face. There's a bit of a thing going on here. But the trouble is, The trouble is, so you're right. What happens is, I'll tell you what happens. If it's relationships, that's kind of like, if you've been hurt in the past, I find that you're kind of like you're worried about your next partner. If you go into another relationship with another partner, it just keeps following you if you don't deal with the actual problem. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So
Exactly.
it's like me. It's like if my partner went out of the shop, I'm wondering where she's to, what she's doing, and things like that. And really, that is bad. That is really bad. That's not a relationship, is it?
It's not that it's not a relationship, it's that the insecurities are smothering all of the good stuff of the relationship. So first and foremost, get that tracker off because that is it's a serious problem, not just for your partner, 'cause it's a real breach of their trust, but for your own self because it's actually really addictive. So, that distrust starts to grow and fester and it bleeds into every single element of everything that you do. Um, it's really addictive. And so then that aside, and it's very difficult. So when you start to feel that surge of that jealousy and insecurity, where is she or where is he? What are they doing? They've run off with somebody else. Are they cheating on me? Are they taking me for a fool? All of those things that run through our mind is find something else to do with your time. And you have to have a chat with yourself and be like, right, do I actually have a reason to distrust this person? Has this person ever given me a motive to really believe that they would do these things that my mind is imagining that they're doing?
Yeah,
If the answer to those questions is no, you have to pull yourself off the ledge. Find something else to do with your time. What do you really think of your own self? Because if you think that your every single partner is cheating on you or disrespecting you when you're not around, what do you really think of yourself and your ability to choose a partner? Do you not think that you have better sense than that?
yeah, yeah. Do you? Are you a jealous sort of person?
I can be, and if I find that I'm becoming jealous, it's because I'm feeling insecure. So why am I feeling insecure? Okay, because I'm not training, or because I feel fat, or because I feel like I'm wrinkly, or because I feel like I'm not succeeding in my business, or for any of the other reasons. Usually, what we're doing is that jealousy comes from a feeling of lack within our own selves. So what are you feeling like you're lacking, and how can you fill that void?
Yeah, but also past relationships too. It's when you've been in some relationships that have been hurtful or been really bad, that can kind of also kind of trigger it, can it?
Yes and no. So in the same way, like with the tracker, and when we look at our partner's phone or things like that, it becomes very addictive. We're feeding the insecurity, and by the same token, we've all been every single person on this planet has been, unless they're really small, hopefully, has been hurt or wounded in some way by a past relationship, and we have a choice to take that baggage into the next relationship with us or not. And if we do take it, we have to know it's only going to cause damage. It's only going to cause harm and pain, the same way that the original trauma did. So
Yeah,
we have a personal responsibility to take care of that, to find some help and to heal those wounds so that we don't hurt our partner like our previous partner hurt us.
yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Hi, Steve. My name is Shauna. Hi, Shauna. Um, I finished with my partner only 3 days ago. Keeps coming around my house, knocking on my door, saying, let's get back together again. I've got 2 children in the house. He comes around about 10:30, 11 o'clock when he's fully had a drink and everything. What can I do? Well, what you do is you keep the doors locked, and if he comes around again, you ring the police, and you shouldn't be putting up with it. That's what I say.
I
What do you?
100% agree with you, Steve. It's all about boundaries there. And if that person isn't capable of enforcing the boundary, then yeah, you need to find a way to cut that off at source. And the only way is by calling the authorities and have them removed.
Yeah, yeah, because you don't deserve it. You don't
No,
deserve it.
no.
Couple of us, and that's it. Mandy wants to know. I still have been in a relationship now for 42 years. I'm very happy.
No.
Okay, okay. The bedroom part is not very good. It used to be, but both of us are getting older now, and it doesn't matter as long as we got each other. He reads a book at night. I read my magazines at night, and we fall asleep in each other's arms. That's all we need. Oh, that's romantic. Oh, yeah.
So nice. I love that story. Thank you so much for sharing. That's amazing. That's like
Oh,
goals right there.
yeah. That's nice, isn't it? That's nice.
Hmm.
Well done. Well done. 42 years. Keep going. Keep going. And the last one. Is it Karen? Oh, hi, Steve. I'm from Twickenham, London. Been in a rotten relationship for the past few years. I had to get rid of my partner. Partner kind of like keeps phoning me. Change your phone number, by the way. Don't forget. And also, he keeps on coming around and saying that he's going to take the children and everything. Right? Oh God.
Okay. That's yeah. Been there. Okay. The only way to stop that is literally to I don't know what it's called in England, but it would be to start the process for a custody hearing and make sure that that if they deem it pertinent that there's a custody agreement, and
Yeah,
then anything outside of those hours or those days, call the police.
yeah. What you need to do is this: you need to one is get if he keeps coming around, he says he's going to take the children. Don't let him have them. That's number one. Ring the police. Then what you do then, you keep a log. If he keeps coming around, you keep a log of things. Then what you do then, you go for a divorce. And they'll say to you about why you want to get a divorce. You write it all down, and on the divorce papers and everything. If he keeps coming around, you can get what you call it. What's it called, Show? Um, it's like a kind of like order to keep him away from the house. And if he
Restraining
breaks
order.
restraining order, and oh, you've been through it then. and and the trouble is, so you can get restraining order. If you also, there's another one as well. If you got another partner, please make sure that your other partner do not get involved because it could make it more bad for you when you go to court, especially if you're fighting for your children. At the end of the day, you don't want to go there, and the judge says, well, your partner was fighting to what example could you supposed to be looking after the children and everything. So you always got to have your thinking cap on. So always
Yeah.
do make sure you do that. What do you say?
I think that's excellent advice, Steve. And I think, yeah, that's the thing. Never get sucked into the drama. It always goes for the path of least resistance in terms of getting the problem resolved. And, the legal channels can be slow, but it's all documented. So, like Steve said, I think maybe like a security camera on your front door will be good, and you can see the conduct of people coming around banging on the door aggressively. It's all on film, and so that
Yeah,
all goes in favour.
yeah, yeah. Or get yourself like a no, don't say I said, but get yourself a hit man or something, And if you, anyway, sorry, that made you laugh, didn't it? Anyway, no, I was only joking. I was only joking, guys. Don't, please, don't. I said something the other day and I got told off. Right, okay. So, thank you, Katrina. Thank you for that, and lovely to have Katrina on. If people want to contact you, how do they do that?
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook. My name, I don't know if you can see my name on the screen, it's Katrina Grihault. Or I have a
Yeah,
Facebook group as well, which is called The Inspired Underlined Sanctuary Happy Ever After. And I'm also on Instagram, Inspired Alliance Katrina.
I can't get used to Instagram. Can't be.
Yeah, I prefer
I,
Facebook. I'm just old school.
yeah, it's old school, isn't it? Yeah, Facebook. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So it's probably the easiest place to find me.
it is. Thank you so much, Katrina. Thank you for your
Thanks for
help today.
having me.
Thank you. Bless you. Bye bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.